introduction, and the idea of reverse thinking. Welcome to Slow English Podcast. Dear friend, research and statistics show that people who use browsers like Firefox or Chrome during their work tend to change jobs less often and have higher work efficiency than those who use Internet Explorer or Safari. Why is that? Because Internet Explorer and Safari are default browsers that come pre-installed on computers. Firefox and Chrome, on the other hand, require users to actively download, install, and learn how to use them. This small action, this choice to try something new instead of accepting what is given by default, reveals something very important about how a person approaches work and solves problems in life. Of course, no one becomes creative just by changing a browser. However, the habit of questioning defaults and being willing to try something different is the seed of creativity. People who are afraid of change and afraid of trying often use whatever is already available. At work, they easily fall into routines, follow processes, follow fixed patterns, and lack curiosity and creativity. Their goal is usually to finish tasks, not to find new ways of doing things. Because of this, their productivity rarely stands out. When results are not satisfactory, they feel discouraged, lose motivation, and look for another job, hoping the new place will be better. People with a reverse mindset, however, enjoy exploring new things, are not afraid to try, and are not afraid of making mistakes. They actively optimize, initiate change, and constantly ask, "Is there a better way?" This habit helps them work more effectively, become more creative, and receive recognition from colleagues and customers. That is why they rarely feel the need to leave. This idea is mentioned in Chapter 1 of the book Originals: How Nonconformists Move the World, written by Adam Grant. This is the book that Tanya wants to explore with you today. The Vietnamese edition is published by First News. Now let us begin the main content. There are two paths to achievement. The first path is following existing patterns and becoming excellent by mastering what already exists. The second path is creativity, daring to step outside the patterns and create something unique. In previous generations, following patterns was safer and more effective. But today, as technology rapidly develops, this path is no longer for the majority. Artificial intelligence is gradually replacing humans in many jobs. Only a small number of people who are truly outstanding can succeed this way. Therefore, most of us have no choice but to activate and train our creativity. There is one thing machines and AI cannot replace. That is creative thinking and originality. From ancient times, people believed creativity was a gift from birth. Only a few were born creative, while the rest followed. But as a psychologist, Adam Grant argues that creativity is not innate. Looking back at history, breakthrough inventions rarely came from youthful impulsiveness. They usually appeared after long journeys filled with experience, mistakes, and correction. That is why Adam believes anyone can become creative if they apply the right method. And that method is called reverse thinking. According to what Tanya learned from the book, this method can be summarized into 6 steps. Now, we move to step 1. Step 1. questioning the status quo. According to Adam Grant, the first step of reverse thinking is questioning the status quo. When we encounter something, instead of accepting the current state as natural, we should ask, why does it exist this way from the very beginning? When an apple falls to the ground, most people see it as normal. But Isaac Newton did not. Instead of accepting it as nature, he asked a strange question. Why does the apple fall straight down instead of sideways or upward? Without that seemingly foolish question, Newton would never have discovered the law of universal gravitation and become one of the greatest scientists in history. The same logic applies to many modern success stories. Take Warby Parker, an online eyewear company, as an example. For many years in the United States, eyeglasses were considered luxury items. A single pair of glasses could cost several $100s, sometimes more than a week's income for many people. Yet no one questioned this. People assumed that if doctors sold glasses at that price, then the price must be reasonable. One day, Dave Gilboa lost his glasses during a trip to Thailand. Because replacement glasses cost nearly $700, he attended the first class of his master's program without glasses. Then, a moment changed his thinking. He saw long lines of people waiting outside Apple stores to buy the iPhone 4. At that time, an iPhone cost around $600, which was cheaper than the glasses Dave needed. That made him wonder. Eyeglasses have existed for nearly 1,000 years and have barely changed. So why does such a simple product cost more than a complex device like the iPhone? Dave and his friends started researching the eyewear industry. They discovered that production costs were only about 5% of the retail price. The reason prices were so high was exclusive distribution. That was when Dave Gilboa and 3 friends came up with an idea: sell glasses online at a much lower price. Many people criticized the idea. They believed customers had to try glasses in person before buying. Despite the doubts, the 4 founders moved forward. Their website officially launched at 4 a.m. on a day in May 2010. At first, they only hoped to sell 1 or 2 pairs per day. But surprisingly, within just a few hours, orders flooded in so fast that they had to shut down the website to restock. Demand grew so quickly that over 20,000 customers ended up on the waiting list. It took the company 9 months to fulfill all orders. This success was not luck. It was another result of reverse thinking. They asked a critical question. Why do customers hesitate to buy glasses online? After analyzing feedback from friends and investors, they realized all concerns came down to one fear. Customers were afraid of making the wrong choice. They feared poor quality. They feared the glasses would not look good. Today, online stores solve this with return and refund policies. But in 2010, Warby Parker chose a more radical approach. Instead of refunds, they allowed customers to select 5 frames, send them home, and try them for 5 days. Only after choosing one did customers place an order and pay. The trial frames were returned to the company. At first glance, this policy seemed expensive, but in reality, it reduced costs. Refunds are complex, time-consuming, and risky. Returned items are often scratched and cannot be resold. More importantly, returns create stress for customers. With Warby Parker's approach, customers tried frames freely, without commitment. They could look in the mirror, ask friends for opinions, take photos, and share online. The company sent frames without prescription lenses, so costs stayed low. The same frames were reused for future trials. Warby Parker soon became a symbol of reverse thinking in the modern era. 5 years after founding, they ranked among the world's most innovative companies in 2015, according to Fast Company. They ranked alongside Google, Nike, and Apple. Those companies had over 50,000 employees. Warby Parker, a young startup, had only 500 employees. Step 2. Doing the opposite. The second step of reverse thinking is doing the opposite of what is normally done. Most startups, when pitching to investors, focus on explaining their strengths and why investors should put money into them. But Griscom chose a completely different approach. When presenting his project to venture capital investors, he began by listing the top 5 reasons why investors should not invest. This unusual approach worked surprisingly well. First, when people face a new idea, their natural reaction is defensive skepticism. Second, when people feel they are being persuaded, they instinctively raise a mental shield. The more confident and optimistic a presenter sounds, the harder investors try to find flaws in the argument. By presenting weaknesses first, Griscom neutralized this defensive reaction. He openly admitted the company's problems, shifting investors from a defensive position to a problem-solving mindset. Instead of resisting, they became curious. They laughed, felt intrigued, and began to trust him more. By acknowledging the most serious risks up front, he left investors with very little else to worry about. When they could not identify any additional major concerns, the existing issues no longer felt critical. As a result, they decided to invest. For Tanya's audience, especially those searching for a life partner, this method can also apply. For example, instead of writing down only the qualities you want in a partner, try asking the opposite question. What kind of person would someone with those qualities want to be with? If this works for you, please remember to invite Tanya to your online wedding. Now, we move to step 3 of reverse thinking, tripling the number of ideas you produce. Here's the surprise. Creative geniuses are not necessarily better than others. They simply produce more work. That higher volume gives them more chances to experiment, fail, and eventually succeed. Take William Shakespeare as an example. He is remembered as a literary genius for works like Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet. But few people notice that over 2 decades, he wrote 37 plays and 154 sonnets. His output far exceeded most writers of his time. The same pattern appears in music. Mozart, before passing away at age 35, composed over 600 pieces. Painter Pablo Picasso created more than 1,800 paintings, 1,200 sculptures, 2,800 ceramics, and 12,000 drawings. Yet only a small portion became masterpieces. Thomas Edison filed more than 1,000 patents. Only about 10 were widely adopted and brought him fame and wealth. Many people failed to create something unique, not because they lack talent, but because they generate too few ideas and become obsessed with perfecting them too early. Rushing leads to mistakes. Hesitation leads to regret, but purposeful delay can be essential for true achievement. Step 4. Purposeful procrastination. Now we move to step 4 of reverse thinking. Purposeful procrastination. There is an interesting truth. Many of the greatest works of art in human history were created during periods of delay. Leonardo da Vinci, a man with unparalleled achievements across painting, sculpture, architecture, music, mathematics, engineering, anatomy, and botany, was known for procrastination. His masterpiece, the Mona Lisa, was not painted in one continuous effort. It was created in fragments over many years. Leonardo once said that truly unique things cannot be rushed. Some of the most gifted individuals do their best work when they appear to be working the least. Procrastination can be the enemy of productivity, but it can be a powerful resource for creativity. It is important to understand, purposeful procrastination is not the same as laziness. Laziness means stopping both action and thinking. Purposeful procrastination means that even when action is paused, the mind continues to work. This stage is like fermenting wine. Ideas mature quietly and return sharper and clearer. In the world of startups, many people believe that success requires quitting your current job and focusing fully on your venture. However, statistics show the opposite. Entrepreneurs who maintain their full-time jobs while building startups have a 33% lower failure rate than those who quit entirely. This is another form of purposeful procrastination. Henry Ford built his automotive empire while still working as a chief engineer at Thomas Edison's company. Steve Wozniak co-founded Apple in 1976, but continued his full-time job elsewhere. Bill Gates sold his first software while still a sophomore in college. He did not drop out immediately. He took a leave of absence, leaving himself a way back. Larry Page and Sergey Brin developed Google's search technology in 1996, yet continued their graduate research at Stanford until 1998. To create something truly new, we must accept risk. But risk does not require recklessness. Before jumping forward, we often need to step back and gather momentum. No one can sustain creativity while their life is unstable. When income remains stable, financial pressure decreases, emotions stay balanced, and the mind gains space to nurture breakthrough ideas. Purposeful procrastination also matters deeply for young talents. Many child prodigies face hidden tragedies. When talent appears early, adults rush to protect it from being wasted. Training intensifies. Expectations rise. This pressure often suffocates creativity. Children spend all their energy absorbing existing knowledge instead of exploring the unknown. As adults, they may become experts, but often rigid, conservative, and lost when the world changes. Their curiosity and adaptability have already been worn away. Step 5. Entering a new field and a new culture. The fifth step in training creativity is entering a new field and a new cultural environment. An American working in Canada is less likely to become truly original than someone joining a project in South Korea or Japan. Cultural intersection greatly stimulates creativity. People who speak 2 or more languages are often more creative than those who speak only one. Entrepreneurs and inventors often discover new ideas by expanding their knowledge into artistic fields. For example, Steve Jobs once studied calligraphy in college. Leonardo da Vinci is a perfect example of the fusion between art and science. When painting, he studied anatomy to understand the human body. When designing machines, he applied artistic principles to optimize structure and motion. One of Steve Jobs' idols was Edwin Land. Edwin Land was a businessman deeply influenced by photography and light-based art. He was the creator of Polaroid, a pioneering company in the photography industry of the 20th century. He turned the dream of instant photography into reality with the world's first instant camera. Polaroid's products once dominated the market and became symbols of creativity and success. But the same man later missed the greatest opportunity of the digital age. In 1980, the founder of Sony approached Edwin Land to suggest that chemical photo development had no future and proposed cooperation to create a digital camera. However, Land's past success locked his thinking. He saw the world through chemistry and physics, not through binary numbers. He rejected the idea. He believed customers wanted to hold physical photos, to experience the waiting as images developed. To him, that was the soul of photography. This fixed mindset caused Polaroid to fall behind history. When digital photography spread, the once glorious company collapsed and disappeared. When people succeed within a certain framework, they often lack the courage to step outside it. At higher levels of expertise, people become prisoners of their own models. In everyday life, we tend to work and socialize with people who share similar backgrounds. This is common in corporate hiring. Companies often seek cultural fit. At early stages, this improves efficiency. But as organizations grow, uniform thinking can lead to collapse. At Polaroid's lowest point, Edwin Land became increasingly isolated. Those around him only echoed his beliefs. Everyone agreed that photos must be printed. That belief sealed the company's fate. Step 6. Making ideas feel familiar. The 6th step in training creativity is making your ideas feel familiar. Have you noticed that when a new idea appears, or when someone dares to do something differently, they often face resistance, mockery, or even punishment? Human psychology naturally fears the unfamiliar. When something feels strange, our first reaction is rejection. In the book, the author tells the story of Carmen Medina, a woman who worked for over 30 years at the CIA, the leading intelligence agency of the United States. When she proposed improving the internal information sharing system, her idea was considered reckless, a violation of strict traditions around secrecy. As a result, she was isolated, mocked, and eventually forced to leave the organization she had dedicated most of her life to. Yet just a few years later, after the terrorist attacks of September 11th, the CIA was forced to reform its communication systems. They later approached the company where Carmen Medina held an executive position and adopted the very solutions they had once rejected. This story shows that new ideas are often opposed not because they are wrong, but because they are unfamiliar, especially when the person presenting the idea lacks authority, status, or prestige. they are easily labeled as rebels. This pattern also appears in social issues such as sexual harassment. Many people assume that victims are typically attractive women. In reality, harassment often targets women who are different. Women who dress boldly, act confidently, and challenge traditional norms. At its core, harassment is a form of punishment against those who defy expectations. New ideas need time to become familiar. Only after familiarity develops can acceptance and even affection follow. That is why familiarity plays a crucial role in creative work. The more an idea connects to what people already know and believe, the more easily it is accepted. The Lion King was the highest-grossing film of 1994 and won 2 Academy Awards and 1 Golden Globe. Few people know that its first script failed completely. After that failure, 5 screenwriters rewrote the story together. After 2 days of intense debate, one idea changed everything. They decided to base the story on Hamlet, the classic work by William Shakespeare. Because the story was already familiar to audiences, placing it in the setting of African lions created immediate resonance. Unique creativity built on familiar foundations led to massive success. In truth, nothing is entirely new. All ideas are influenced by what we absorb from the world around us. Creativity does not come from sitting still and forcing ideas. It comes from going out, observing, experiencing, and allowing the heart to be touched by something new. Only when we expand our vision and spirit does the inner world gain enough material to give birth to truly living ideas. Thank you for listening. Please follow the channel so we can meet again in future videos.